In brief moments, we mark our beginning. In compassion, we find freedom. Welcome to your ledger, where you author your story. Episode 16 of The Quiet Ledger, The Quiet Investment. Please remember that the TQL series offers gentle guidance and metaphorical frameworks for financial wellness. This is not professional financial, legal, or therapeutic advice. Always consult a qualified professional before making specific financial decisions. Welcome, I am Teach, the scholar. Last time we raised the shield and practiced the gentle no, protecting our energy from external pressure. Today, we open the book, turning our attention to a different kind of choice, the choice to invest in ourselves. Phase 2 is asking us to examine what deserves protection and what deserves investment. The shield showed us what to guard. The book asks what we are building. The scholar knows that knowledge and growth compound quietly, page by page, in ways that are not always visible until much later. The scholar also understands that the book opens to anyone who chooses to sit with it. The investment of attention is the first investment, and it is available in any season, on any budget, in any circumstance. The quiet investment is among the most overlooked and most enduring choices we can make. Let us anchor ourselves in the now. Breathe in deeply, gathering the stillness, and breathe out, releasing tension in your jaw and shoulders. One more, inviting calm focus, and out, settling the mind into peace. You are perfectly safe here. The book. It carries what has been learned, what remains to be discovered, and what becomes possible when knowledge meets practice. Consider the relationship many of us carry with spending money on ourselves. We direct money toward the needs of others with relative ease, toward household requirements, toward the expectations of family, toward what the social fabric of our lives seems to demand. And then there is the other category, the course we have been meaning to take, the support for our own well-being that keeps getting postponed, the skill we want to develop, that sits waiting until everyone else's needs are finally met. The scholar has observed something important about this pattern. Everyone else's needs tend to be endless. The postponement compounds quietly, just as investment would, moving in the direction of less. The book represents the possibility of a different relationship with self-investment. The scholar asks us to examine whether we appear anywhere on the list of things that deserve genuine attention. The book has a page with your name on it. The question is whether you have opened to it. The scholar also understands that self-investment compounds the same way any other investment does. The course taken, the skill developed, the capacity built. These return value across every season that follows. The book worth opening builds the reader in the reading. The book opens further with each return to it. A grounding idea supports our reflection with the quiet investment offered by Samuel Smiles, who understood that the most significant outcomes in a life begin long before they are visible in the quality of what is practiced and repeated over time. Sow a thought, and you reap an act. Sow an act, and you reap a habit. Sow a habit, and you reap a character. Sow a character, and you reap a destiny. What Smiles saw, the scholar has held as practice. The quiet investment often begins here. Read that sequence as a map of what compounding actually means. The thought returned to with care becomes the practice repeated with ease. The practice repeated becomes the habit that runs beneath conscious choice. The habit held long enough shapes the quality brought to every decision, and the practice of choosing growth over immediate reward. This is precisely what the scholar tends. The incremental investment made today is a thought sown. The return to the practice tomorrow is the act that follows. The scholar discerns that what is being built through consistent return extends beyond a skill or a balance. It shapes a way of meeting the world, and from that shaping, slowly, over seasons and years, a destiny takes form. Smiles saw this with precision. The scholar carries it forward with every consistent and gradual return to the work. Our first anchor is orientation. You might recognize the places where directing money toward your own learning feels like something that comes last, after the household, after the commitments, after what feels more immediately pressing. You might bring attention to the hesitation that arises when you consider spending money on your own growth, your skill development, your well-being. Many of us have learned that spending on ourselves is a luxury we earn only after everyone else's needs are met, and somehow everyone else's needs are endless. When you acknowledge this pattern with openness, you create the possibility of a different choice. It is possible to have learned this pattern. It is also possible to choose differently. That possibility is worth seeing clearly. The scholar holds this question with care. The learning that serves you also serves what you bring to others. Our second anchor is action. What if we practice directing one small amount of money toward our own learning this week? There could be a course or workshop that builds a skill you have wanted to develop, something set aside for what you are working to know. There could be a tool or experience that supports your well-being in a way that truly matters to you, something that places what you are building inside your spending with intention. There could be simply one small choice that honors your own development as something that deserves a place in how you direct your money. You might find that putting something toward your own learning feels different from other spending, more considered, more deliberate. The scholar knows that what you place toward yourself compounds over time. What you direct toward your skills today gathers quietly into the ground, from which everything you offer to others becomes possible. That ground is built one small, deliberate placement at a time. Our third anchor is reframing. There is often a moment when we question whether the time and money directed toward our own learning is justified, whether it is indulgent or premature, or could be better spent elsewhere. What you direct toward your own unfolding gathers over time. It travels with you and deepens through use. The scholar sees this clearly. Knowledge compounds. A skill developed becomes a platform for the next skill. An understanding earned through practice carries differently than one read about and set aside. When we recognize that investing in our own capacity is one of the most reliable directions money can travel, the question shifts. We begin to see learning as something that moves with us, that grows in application, that pays forward into circumstances we cannot yet see. We are cultivating the practice of directing something toward our own unfolding with trust in the gathering that follows. Consider the nature of a page turning in a book. How each one reveals what the previous page kept hush. What you are becoming carries the same depth. Each small investment in your own capacity turns a page. The book moves forward through what you are becoming, present, faithful to what was given. The page is carrying the texture of what was absorbed, the margins holding what was noticed. Notice the space to give what you are learning your full attention. Where curiosity lives and learning begins. What you direct toward your own learning, directed with intention, opens something that stays open. The attention you bring, shaping what you receive, the learning settling into how you move, into what you offer, into what you become. Each return, consider the nature of the bookmark, how it keeps your place with patience for what remains. Your development moves with the same patience through each page of growth. The book trusts where you are going. This is what it means to choose growth over immediate gratification. The quality carries outward, the book traveling with you, what was learned, becoming part of how you see, the growth continuing through every application. As we return to our shared space, the quiet investment invites a gentle shift in how we think about directing something toward ourselves. This week, consider one moment where your own growth, skill, or well-being could receive some directed attention, something that reflects an honest intention to invest in what you are becoming. Perhaps there is room to place yourself on the list of things that deserve that attention this week. Perhaps that single act of self-directed awareness shifts something in how you understand your own worth. It may be that directing something toward your own development is one of the quieter choices you make last, and one of the more significant ones to begin. The scholar asks for one page turned towards your own development. That is the whole of it. Thank you for being here, for being willing to place yourself on the list of things that deserve directed attention, and to consider that your own development is a page worth opening. In the coming days, you might find yourself noticing the hesitation when the opportunity arrives, recognizing the moment it appears, and asking whether this is habit speaking or an honest assessment of what matters. Perhaps finding that even one small step toward your own growth carries more meaning than the moment suggested. Perhaps you will find that the page, once opened, was worth more than the waiting cost. I am Teach, the scholar. Thank you for returning to this ledger. May you move through your days, knowing that your development matters, and that every honest step directed toward what you are becoming is a page in a story worth writing. Until we meet again. Next time on your journey in the series, we will flow with the current, moving with change and finding what that movement makes possible.